There comes a quiet moment, maybe brushing your hair in the morning or passing by a store window, when you pause and wonder, when did I stop recognizing the woman looking back at me? It's not sadness exactly. It's not about missing youth. It's something deeper. A quiet ache for the version of you that once felt reflected. After 60, the world subtly tries to tell you to fade. Go natural. Stay practical. Be graceful. But what if that's not your version of graceful? What if looking in the... Because hair isn't just a style, it's memory, personality, and presence. And when it begins to shift with age, flattening, graying, thinning, you're not just adjusting a routine. You're renegotiating a piece of your identity. So no, this isn't about trying to look 30 again. It's about reconnecting with the spark that's still you, but may have gotten lost beneath decades of roles, care, and compromise. And believe it or not, that spark, it doesn't take a total reinvention. Sometimes, just a few intentional tweaks can bring her back to the surface. Stay with me, because the next part may feel uncomfortably familiar, but it's where real transformation begins. It wasn't dramatic. No breakdown, no tears. Just one of those regular mornings, coffee brewing, sunlight creeping across the kitchen tiles. You caught your reflection in the hallway mirror, and instead of nodding at the woman you've always known, you paused, tilted your head, squinted. When did my hair start doing that? You ran your fingers through it. Once full, now limp. Once rich with color, now a faded, uneven patchwork. The cut you'd had for years, suddenly it looked tired. You looked tired, and it hit you. This wasn't about one bad hair day. This was something else. It wasn't vanity that made your stomach sink. It was recognition of how much time had passed without... You didn't say anything to anyone. Maybe you even laughed it off. Oh, I'm just getting older, it's fine. But it stayed with you, a dull sting. Because deep down, you missed feeling like yourself. You missed being seen, not for your age, but for your energy, your style, your presence. It's a hard thing to admit, even to yourself, that somewhere between coloring less often, chopping it just to keep it simple, and skipping the products that once made you feel vibrant, you started fading a little, not just visually, but emotionally. And maybe that was the day the mirror stopped feeling like a friend. But here's the thing, you're not alone in this. So many women quietly carry that same moment, the quiet, creeping disconnection, the silent question, is this just how it is now? The answer is no. It doesn't have to be, because here's where things begin to shift, not with some huge makeover, but with a few deceptively simple tweaks, adjustments that work with your hair, not against it, changes that put the power of expression, your expression, back in your hands. Let's get one thing straight. Volume isn't about going big. It's about going strategic. As we age, hair naturally loses density, especially around the crown and temples. The result? That subtle flattening that makes your entire face feel heavier and more tired. Even when you're well rested, your reflection might say otherwise. But here's the good news. You don't need more hair. You just need the right lift in the right places. Think of volume as scaffolding. With just a few tweaks in cut and styling, you can visually open up the face, highlight your bone structure, and bring energy back to your expression. One of the most transformative changes. adding soft layers around the crown and away from the jawline. It shifts attention upward, giving your face an instant lift. Styling plays its role too. A round brush and a root-lifting spray can work miracles. Focus on the crown and top layers, lifting them slightly while drying to build soft, natural volume. And avoid heavy conditioners near the scalp. They weigh hair down exactly where you need height. If you've always worn your hair sleek and close to the head, this tweak might feel unfamiliar at first. But the effect is undeniable. You'll look fresher, more alert, and subtly re-energized without anyone being able to pinpoint exactly why. Real women notice the shift almost instantly. "I didn't change the color or length, just added volume at the top," one woman shared. "My friends kept asking if I'd lost weight. I hadn't, but my face looked lifted. It was all the hair." And here's the deeper truth. Volume doesn't just change how your hair looks. It changes how you carry yourself. You stand taller. You move differently. Because when your reflection feels aligned with how you want to be seen, confidence returns without force. So no, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming balance, framing your face in a way that honors where you are now, while lighting up what's always been uniquely you. There's something deeply emotional about length. Long hair often carries meaning, femininity, strength, even a sense of safety. So the idea of cutting it, even slightly, can feel like letting go of part of yourself. And yet, when it's no longer working for you, it quietly begins working against you. Hair thins over time. That's natural. But holding on to longer lengths as density decreases can create an unintended effect. Hair starts to drag the face downward. The ends become wispy. The silhouette loses shape. Instead of flow, there's droop. And here's the secret few stylists say out loud. Lifting the length. This tweak isn't about going short. It's about finding that sweet spot. A length that floats just above the shoulders or sits gently at the collarbone, where gravity no longer pulls everything south. The face looks brighter. The neck opens up. The entire posture lifts, almost automatically. It's not just visual, it's emotional. One woman described it like this: "I didn't expect to feel lighter, but I walked out of the salon and it was like I left 10 years of heaviness on the floor with that trim." The magic is in shape and movement. A blunt cut may feel modern, but if your hair is finer, gentle layering can keep the ends soft and dynamic. Ask your stylist for a cut that follows your face shape without collapsing around the jawline. A well-placed cut can sharpen cheekbones and soften everything else without ever touching a makeup brush. What surprises many women is how quickly others notice. "Something's different about you," they'll say, but they won't guess you've simply let go of length that no longer served you. Because what they're really seeing is joy, confidence, lightness. Let's talk color, but not in the way it's usually framed. This isn't about covering grays or chasing youth. It's about tone. Because after 60, it's not just your hair that changes. Your skin tone softens too. The undertones that once made golden blondes shimmer or deep brunettes glow may now make you look washed out. That blah feeling when you look in the mirror, it's often a tone mismatch, not age. The right hair color doesn't shout. It reflects. It picks up the warmth in your skin, the brightness in your eyes. It adds life, even when you're not wearing makeup. And the good news? You don't need to overhaul your whole color. Just shift the undertone. If you've always gone ash blonde, a touch of warmth. think honey or champagne, can revive your complexion. If you're brunette, try caramel or chestnut gloss to soften and illuminate. Even silver hair. This is about radiance, not reinvention. One overlooked strategy: face framing highlights. A few subtle ribbons placed around your face, no more than 1 or 2 shades lighter than your base, act like built-in lighting. They brighten your features without screaming highlights. It's subtle and powerful. Here's what one woman said after shifting her tone just slightly. "I didn't realize how flat my color had become. The new tone didn't make me look younger. It made me look more awake, more me." The emotional impact is real. When your hair tone aligns with your natural glow, something shifts. You feel pulled into the mirror, not pushed away from it. You start reaching for fewer concealers, smiling more, standing taller. And it's not about chasing what once was. It's about honoring. It's hard to explain, but you know it when it happens. You catch yourself in the mirror, not with critique, but with curiosity. You pause. There's a softness around your eyes, a spark at the corners of your mouth. You feel present, reconnected. Not younger, not older, just right. Like the version of you that's been quietly waiting her turn to reemerge. The tweaks were small. A little lift here, a warmer tone there, a shape that moves instead of drags. But together, they whisper something powerful. You still get to feel beautiful. And when you do, something shifts in how you walk into a room. You don't apologize with your posture. You meet people's eyes. You don't rush past mirrors anymore. Because this isn't about turning back time. It's about standing in it, fully, boldly, beautifully as you are now. You didn't lose her. She was always here. And if this quiet shift has started stirring something in you, keep reading. The next part isn't a tutorial. It's an invitation. Let's be honest. How many times have you looked in the mirror, paused, and thought, "I should do something about my hair," only to push the thought aside? Not because you didn't care, but because the world doesn't exactly make space for women over 60 to prioritize beauty as self-connection instead of self-importance. But maybe now, after everything you've just read, something's stirring. Not pressure, not urgency, just a gentle tug, a quiet whisper that says, "It's okay to want this. It's okay to start." Maybe it's asking your stylist to add a little lift at the crown. Maybe it's finally letting go of those tired ends. Maybe it's walking into the salon with a photo of a warmer tone you've secretly loved for years. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to take that step, not because you should, but because you can. Because there's power in reclaiming your reflection, even in the smallest ways. You deserve to see someone in the mirror who reflects not your age, but your energy. So what's your one tiny change? Think of it now. Then take action. Book the appointment. Ask the question. Run your fingers through your hair and imagine what it could become with just one shift. Because the moment you decide to begin, even subtly, is the moment you start to come back to yourself. She's waiting, and she's beautiful.